Okay, so evening guys, welcome to another episode of The Bearded Berserker with me, Matt. Hope you guys had a fantastic Halloween yesterday. If you didn't watch or weren't involved, I done my first ever live YouTube stream yesterday and reviews and everything. Kind of a bit of fun, something different, a bit out there and everything else. Back to the normal now. Well, as normal gets. And if you watched any of my videos on my channel whatsoever, you'll know that I'm reviewing all sorts of bits and pieces, from beard products, skin products, hair products, bits of clothing, jewellery and stuff like that. And every single review that I'm doing, and basically the whole ethos of doing this is 100% unbiased. It's all my own honest opinion. I'm not affiliated to any of the companies whatsoever. And I'm going to give you guys a completely honest opinion on what I think of various bits and pieces that I'm going out and sourcing for myself, or stuff that is being sent through. And what I have found in doing these videos and my quest for my perfect beard oils and balms and stuff like that, is these smaller companies out there that are really making some really cracking stuff. And it must be really hard for these little people out there, either in their sheds or like small little company of a few people, trying to make these products and get them launched and out onto the market. Because let's face it, everything male grooming now, there's products all over the place, left, right and centre and stuff. And when you compete against some of these massive names up there, I'm finding that the smaller people are actually caring more about their products and what they're actually making and their customer service and everything else than some of the bigger products. I've been in touch with other companies that are really big companies. They just don't want to know. They're not interested. They've got their customer base that are going out buying their stuff because of their name and stuff. So it's kind of nice for me to try and showcase what these smaller companies are doing. So about a month or so ago, I done a review for a UK East London company called O'Donnell Moonshine, who, funny enough, make moonshine. And the one that I reviewed on there was Tough Nut, and the comments that I had afterwards about the actual Tough Nut Moonshine is that everyone else kind of really liked it. They'd had it before and thought it was absolutely amazing. And O'Donnell's have sent me through another one to kind of have a look at and review. So the same with all the other reviews that I'm doing. We're going to look at the product. We're going to talk about the price and stuff like that. Various different ones that they do. And then at the end of it, we're going to score it out of 20. So 20 being absolutely fantastic. 0 being, hate it, detest the stuff. 10 in the middle being, yeah, it's kind of all right. So this is for O'Donnell Moonshine. Now they do 4 different moonshines at the moment. They do the bitter rose, they do a roasted apple, they do the Tough Nut, which is the one that I tried before, and they also do a high proof moonshine. Now for those of you, a little bit of history for you, not entirely sure what moonshine is. Back in the USA many years ago, kind of all the governments and everything were dead against alcohol. They assumed that it made people sort of like horrible. They ended up got put in prison, they causing trouble and stuff like that. So they kind of banned the sale of alcohol. So you got these sort of like groups of people that lived in the mountains. They kind of made their own version of alcohol, which is kind of either a wheat or corn distilled alcohol, which they would then make up in these stills up in sort of wood cabins and log cabins and stuff like that. They'd then give them to bootleggers, who would then either sell them to people or kind of different bars and places like that, and kind of smuggling, if you know what I mean. The prohibition didn't really last that long before the government was like, well, yeah, let's just reintroduce it back again. But this is where kind of moonshine and the history comes from, and it's kind of almost like a whiskey. Now, I have been over to the States before, and I did try some moonshine over there, and it's been very interesting to kind of compare the sort of almost genuine stuff to kind of like one that's actually made in this country. Now, the one that I tried before, which was the Tough Nut, it was very liqueur-y. It was a really nice drink, don't get me wrong, it was absolutely beautiful, kind of like caramel and hazelnut infused sort of like alcohol drink, and it was really nice. One of those really sort of nice warm winter evenings, sitting there by a fire, cold outside, beautiful drink. And so they sent me through the high proof one to have a look at. Now, I have tried it. This isn't just a plain unboxing and everything because there's no point in that. So we're going to look at the products, okay? Now, first of all, they've sent a card through, which is very nice when I receive a card saying thank you very much for the previous review that I done from the team and kind of loving what I do, which is nice. It's nice when people kind of include stuff like that because I'm not here to make anything for many of these videos whatsoever. I'm here to kind of try and showcase different bits and pieces that various different companies are making and trying to spread their name out there and what they do. So it's nice when kind of you get a bit of appreciation, like, look, really appreciate it. Now, the one they've sent through, the high proof, comes in a box like this. Quite nice packaging. Discover your rebel spirit. I had that many years ago. And all about it on the back of it. And yeah, so nice packaging. Nice to see it's wood, not plastic. And as with the last one, it comes in a mason jar. Dun, 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 there you go. And you can see how much it is and the alcohol of it. So the bitter rose that they do, they all come in sort of 700 mils. And the bitter rose is 25% by volume. So is the tough nut. And the roasted apple is slightly less at 20% alcohol by volume. This one, as you can see, is quite a strong one, 50% by volume. And this one, the others didn't. This one has come with kind of like a little pourer cap on it that you can see. It did come originally, I've dropped it on the floor, with your sort of mason jar lid. And I like the way that it is in a mason jar because with the old one that I had, I've actually recycled and upcycled it and turned it into a tea light holder, and it's very nice. I'll just pick this back up again, sorry, out of view. So the labelling is quite nice, as you can see. It's got the make on the mason jar, and on the back as well, do not drink if you're pregnant, do not drink if you're underage, drink responsibly as well, because when you got high alcohol content and stuff like that, you don't want to be going silly with it and everything like that. So let's pour a little bit out. Bearing in mind I have tried this before, and see what I think of it. Now, one thing I have to say, which is not in the packaging or anything like that, I did suffer from toothache about a week ago, and it has absolutely killed it. I don't have toothache anymore, so that's happy days. I'm not designed to kill toothache, but it certainly did the job. Now, this, like I say, is a high strength, high proof moonshine, and it's triple distilled and filtered. It's also gluten-free, allergy-free, and completely vegan. And it's basically an unaged wheat whiskey. Now, let's have a sip, see what I think. It's quite a potent spirit. The other one that I did try, excuse me, coughing fit. The other one that I did try was very liqueur based. This is almost kind of like your strong sort of like neat alcohol. So it'd be very good to use it in a mixer with fruit juices and stuff like that. There is a very slight hint of kind of like the wheat to it as well, which you can just about detect. So that it has got a wheaty sort of smell to it. And it warms. It definitely warms, and on a cold night like tonight, could definitely do with that. And after a long heavy day at work, it's nice to come home and have a drink and just relax and sit there and for the evening. And it's actually really nice stuff. Now, if you're into your liqueurs, then the bitter rose, the tough nut and the roasted apple, that's going to be right up your alley, and not the spirit one, unless you really do like your spirits and sort of like your kind of alcohols that you can mix with fruit juices and whatever else. So don't think because you've tried the bitter rose, the tough nut or the roasted apple that this one's going to be exactly the same and very sort of like sweet and liqueur wise. This isn't one of those. This is kind of like a high strength sort of alcohol, almost akin to a vodka. I mean, people are going to say, well, what is it like compared to with another drink? It's almost, in my opinion, a cross between a whiskey and a vodka. It's kind of got that sort of to it, if you know what I mean. And you're not going to want much of this, which is why I've got it in one of their little tumblers that they sent with the last one that I reviewed. And I actually quite like it. I'm kind of torn between the two, which one I like the most, because I do like my spirits. I'm not a great beer drinker or cider drinker or anything like that. I like to come home of an evening, sit there, relax, put the slippers on, TV on, and sit there with a glass of something nice and enjoy that. If I'm not doing a review, well, I'm doing a review, I'm drinking anyway, but hey. So I do like my spirits. Now, I'm torn between which one that I actually like the most. If I'm going for a spirit-based and something with a high alcohol content, this is certainly going to tick that box. If I am looking for something liqueur-wise, like the Tough Nut Bitter Rose or the Roasted Apple, that's going to be that for me, and this isn't going to cut it. So it's difficult to kind of score this. So imagine I haven't tried the other ones or the other one, Tough Nut from O'Donnell, purely on the packaging, the way that it looks, and it is actually, believe it or not, quite a bit more expensive than the other ones, even though it's 700ml, as you can see, on each of them. The Bitter Rose, the Tough Nut and the Roasted Apple, they're going for £24.90. This one is a lot more expensive at £39.90, sorry. So it's quite a lot more expensive, but at the same point, you're not going to be drinking so much of this. If you drink a whole mason jar of this, you're not going to be waking up for a long while. And does it compare to the moonshine that I've tasted in the States? Now, obviously, with all different moonshines, they have different alcohol contents. And really ridiculously, I've gone blind sort of style alcohol to kind of like your safer ones. And this is quite a nice one. It's one of those ones that I would mix with fruit juices during the summer, making punches and stuff like that for. But at the same time, it is nice to come home and have one of and enjoy, but perhaps not as much as I necessarily enjoyed the Tough Nut, but it's still really well made. Now, I'm going to score this out of 20, and it's kind of quite difficult to score it because it's the only one UK-based moonshine that I've ever tried. Tell it's UK, could be UK on it. Could you improve on it? I mean, like I say, triple distilled and filtered as well. It's a nice, clean, crisp spirit. I'm going to score this personally for me at a 19 out of 20. The reason that I'm scoring it 19 out of 20, it's kind of not one of those everyday drinks. It's one of those beautiful ones, pull it off the shelf once in a while, if you've got friends over or something like that and want to pull something a bit different out. Do love the pouring cap that they do on it. I know they do sell them separately, but solid 19 out of 20. I can't complain about it, but personally, I do like the other flavour, the Tough Nut that they've done. Be very interesting to see what the Bitter Rose or the Roasted Apple is like, because I've noticed that with their products, they are very well made. And if these two are as good as they are, the Tough Nut and the High Proof Moonshine, then the other two I'm sure are going to be splendid as well. And there is talk of them as well of bringing out other flavours, which will be very interesting to see. And I will keep you updated on that. But yeah, good, solid 19 out of 20 for this. Really nice, brilliant stuff. But not one of those drinks that I would possibly come home and have every night when they get home from work. But then again, you drink responsibly, so you shouldn't have a problem. But there you go. That was O'Donnell's Moonshine. Thank you to O'Donnell for sending those through, or sending that through. Really, really appreciate it. Really do like it. Top product. Excellent stuff. So thank you to them. 19 out of 20. As per usual, I will put all the links to O'Donnell website, Instagram and everything on the links and description down below. Please, if you haven't done so yet, subscribe. please like and please feel free to comment underneath. I read and respond to every single comment that's made out there. And thank you guys for joining me on another video. And before I leave, I've got a couple more reviews coming up later on in the week. But also in 2 weeks' time, I'm doing my top UK beard products. So that is only companies in the UK, and basically Christmas presents. Stuff that I would love to receive in the post that I think would make really good Christmas presents for people with beards. So that's beard oil, beard balm, stuff like that, moustache wax and everything else. So I will be doing that, my top 10, and that's in a couple of weeks' time. Not sure whether I'm going to do it live or not, or just record it. And there will be another one because, as you know, I love my Viking stuff, which is why I'm called the Berserker Beard, a bearded berserker, and I'm Viking Beard Matt over on Instagram. Give us a follow over there. But I will be doing my top Viking and crafts UK companies that are making stuff Viking-esque, pagan and that sort of thing. So that will be also in a couple of weeks as well. Decorate all the room out, loads of tinsel and festiveness. So please join me for that. Now, thank you guys. I really do appreciate your time. Keep on looking after each other. Keep on taking care of each other. Keep on growing those beards. Thank you guys. I appreciate your time. I look forward to seeing you in the next review. Thank you guys.